everybody. Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that little trailer from Doom Generation podcast. Just like we want to take care of our communities in our real life, we find the indie podcast community to be very much a real part of our lives.
Oh, absolutely.
And we want to give them shout outs. So we hope you enjoyed that. And if you're not listening yet, you need to listen to those ladies, man. I don't even listen to pop culture podcasts.
I love pop culture podcasts.
They turned me around. Like, I love listening to them talk about the movies that I fucking love. They did Jawbreaker, which is one of my favorite movies from high school. And like the whole time, it's like I felt like I could be watching that movie with my friends back in the 90s, you know. Fucking great. Check them out if you haven't yet. Get used to that, because I guess there's going to be future episodes where we put other shows' trailers in.
Right.
Because they're supporting us and we're supporting them too.
Yes.
So speaking of community support.
Yes.
You know,
right there.
That's right. That's right.
So,
community support's very important.
I am a reuser, like I had said, because we had asked. Also, personally, I usually keep gardens in this summertime. This last time my garden died, I was so sad. Dude, my rosemary got so tall. It was like to my hips, and then I moved, and they were like, we don't like this energy, so I'm going to die. And they did, which was very upsetting. But I can't wait to start another one.
Yeah, same. Like, this is the first year that my herbs have done any good. And I had a basil plant that was so happy. It was the healthiest, biggest
my
basil
was good
I've ever seen. Now it's in my living room. It's that thing with a bunch of dead stalks and one little piece of green with 4 leaves. That's the remnants of my basil.
Well, like,
and I'm just like, please don't freeze again so I can put it back outside, because it was so happy.
To be fair, like, my gardens usually do well. The COVID year happened. It did not do well, but I didn't get seeds till late. Mm-hmm. And this year, it did really well. My rosemary was my biggest plant. My basil was great. I have pictures because I was so proud. My onions, my green onions, they were growing so long. It was like hair. And
I can
then
grow
moved.
vegetables.
I can only do herbs.
Herbs elude me. No,
my
you're fine.
Like
this basil and the mint that we had this past summer is the best I've ever done with herbs. Because like tomatoes, yes, and I don't even like them, but we had so many cherry tomatoes and stuff, so I made like little salsas with them and stuff, so I could enjoy the tomatoes I grew, because I'm not a fan of cherry tomatoes. Like, I like tomatoes in things, but like, you know the way cherry tomatoes and grape tomatoes burst in your mouth?
I love it!
I hate it! It's so gross!
I love it! It's my favorite part of
see, and I know that's why people who like them, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly why people who don't like them.
But I'll eat a tomato with salt, just plain tomato.
Right, and I won't. And it's funny because my middle daughter, Gia, my younger middle daughter, Gia, she is like that. She loves cherry tomatoes and grape tomatoes, probably because of the pop. And she can eat, she doesn't even need to put salt on a tomato. She'll eat a tomato like an apple, just like straight.
I love them.
Oh man, I've got to have it. It's got to be in a salad. It's got to be on a sandwich. It's got to be with something else.
Yeah, but you said you don't eat mayo tomato sandwiches either, which is crazy. That's like.
But like I eat cucumber butter sandwiches.
Oh, that's fucking weird.
You know what?
Weird.
No. Go to a fucking Presbyterian church in Texas.
Cucumber and butter on a sandwich.
Like some people use butter, some people use mayonnaise, but it's those little finger sandwiches that they have at church.
I like it with, you know what? No, I don't like it with mayo. So what I do with those is I make cream cheese, dill concoction.
Oh, you know what? I've done that for myself, and it's bussin'. I don't use that term. You do, and I picked it up slightly.
Hashtag pop culture.
Because my daughter, Lolly, said that Gia made some fried chicken that was bussin'. So when I was telling Roz about it, I said it was bussin'. And Roz goes, oh Lord, my mother says bussin' now. And I was like, no.
Bussin'.
That's what Lolly said. And she's like, oh, thank God.
You know what? I said it ironically, and now I absolutely mean it.
That's how I did fam. I said fam ironically, and now I say fam for real.
Bryson
it's awful.
I will be like, this pizza's fucking bussin'. which is so
I picked up fire. I did pick that up for good food. Like, I picked up this whatever's fire. Yeah. So I would say that whatever I was just talking about was fire.
I say on fleek sometimes.
Oh my God, I never did pick up on fleek. Didn't. That's so funny.
That's so like...
I picked up fam, ironically, to kind of make fun of Roz, and then I picked it up and she dropped it.
Bro.
Like a bad habit because her mom said it.
But like, for real though, like... that shit is bussin' with the cream cheese.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. It fucking is. It's delicious.
It's definitely better than the mayo in my opinion. But I have never tried it with butter, and I'm sorry to say, oh my God, that's fucking disgusting.
Because I always, as a kid, I always thought it was always mayo. But I realized, like, because I started making it, one of my kids was not a big fan of meat. And we had a garden that, I think I've told you about this garden that like gave me so many cucumbers. Yeah. We had fresh cucumbers for dinner every single night. Like everybody had their own fucking cucumber. And like, yes, I love cucumber salad. My mom made it a lot. Although I think hers is different than everybody. I don't know. But anyway, when I was going to church, we always had these little cucumber sandwiches. So I thought, I have all these cucumbers. One of the kids doesn't like meat that much. I'll see if she likes cucumber sandwiches. So I made it with mayonnaise, and I was like, this doesn't taste quite right. And I think I was talking to my mom, who said, like, no, some people make it with butter. Or I was watching a show, like a cooking show. I can't remember which. I don't know if it was my mom or like a cooking show. But somebody let me know that, like, quite often it's buttered bread with the cucumber slices put on it and then cut into little triangles or squares, and it's so delicious. It really is.
It sounds so like it. So when I hear it, my mouth is watering. Don't be fooled, I'm hungry. But like when I hear it, it sounds like it would leave a fatty phlegm in my mouth or film in my mouth. You ever eat so much butter?
Right. Well, it's like, not like thick with butter.
Okay.
It's not like if you wanted to have bread and butter with your eggs or something. Okay. No, it's like thin, as if you were putting thin mayonnaise on. It's a thin amount of butter. And that's why, like, I thought it was mayo my whole life when I was a kid.
Okay.
Because I couldn't identify the flavor. My palate wasn't refined enough. You know, I knew I liked it, but I didn't know that was butter, not mayo. I assumed it's a sandwich. It's mayo. I assumed.
Right.
But as an adult, when I ate it, I was like, this doesn't taste like it did when I was a kid. When I made it with butter, it did taste like it did when I was a kid because that's what it was. But when you make it with cream cheese, it's the best.
Oh my God. No, absolutely. I actually just had a sandwich with tomatoes and cucumbers and that cream cheese spread. And it was so fucking... Normally, I would add...
I never thought about putting tomato on it.
Oh, it's so good with cream cheese. And normally, I would add spinach, but my spinach went bad, so I can't. So it's like a huge, literally like stuffed...
Oh, that sounds
vegetable sandwich.
Good.
Oh, it is.
That sounds right up my alley.
It's fucking delicious.
Oh, now
that's why I had the cucumber, because I was making the sandwiches and I was like, fuck, I'm out of bread. I don't want to eat regular cucumber. You know what I mean?
Man, I love my favorite thing when I was a kid and even into my early and mid 20s, although now I have to be in the mood for it, is like cucumber, especially if it's fresh from my garden. Goals.
Yeah, right?
Dip in ranch. Just a little bit of ranch. And that's all I need. If it's sun warmed still, it's better.
Oh my God. You were talking about dipping the eggs in mayonnaise and how you just like scoop that shit. I'm like, no, with me and cucumber, I'm scooping that shit like the mayonnaise.
Like, I feel guilty. But I'm a Midwestern bitch. Yeah, I feel guilty, so I will dip. I like cucumber spears. That's my favorite. I love spears.
Like pickles.
So, yeah, I like to dip it halfway in the ranch. Take that bite where everything is coated, and it's my ranch. I'm not sharing it. It's not communal,
right?
So I can put it back in and dip the other half where it's coated. But I feel bad doing any more than that because I'm like, at this point, it's not healthy.
Look, I get light sugar-free ranch, okay? So my ranch does not taste like everybody else's ranch, but I will say, well, actually, I like the light sugar-free ranch better, which is weird, because I never would have thought that I would like it, but fuck, it's good.
I'm glad you like it.
I know it sounds scary. Trust me, it's better. And
I've had light ranch and I don't like it.
Light sugar-free buttermilk ranch is our go-to. I know it makes no fucking sense, does it? It makes no fucking sense.
I guess it means it has tang.
Right, it does. Right, it's like this makes no sense. How is this a product? I'm like, shut up, it's the best ranch there is.
I mean, I might try that, but like in my personal experience with eating light ranches, I'm not a fan of the consistency of the ranch.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
Well, you know,
because it's different than some of the other ranch, like consistency.
Right? No, it is like, and I tried regular ranch, and I tried the light sugar free, and I genuinely enjoy the light buttermilk.
Well, good. I'm glad. Like so,
I'm
since it's buttermilk. Maybe I don't know.
Like,
I've never liked light, and I've never seen it as light sugar free. So if all light is sugar free, then I am unaware.
I'm pretty sure I don't know. I'll have to look, and I will let you know.
Yeah.
But only reason I know it's sugar free is because it's keto.
Right.
So excuse me, I'm a Midwestern bitch, which means I put ranch on everything. Like, as a matter of fact, my husband and I just argued because I was like, you need to go get ranch.
Oh, yeah.
If we're having frozen pizza. Oh my God, I just outed myself, guys. I'm not perfect. I'm having frozen pizza. And one of my things was less processed. Episode? Yeah.
But it's less, not eliminate all. Right, exactly. It's less, and it's baby steps, which we didn't say in this episode. So as we go through our goals for spiritual living, which we haven't gotten fully into the goals yet, we kind of are mentioning them as we talk about what we're currently doing. But it's baby steps, y'all.
And let me defend myself for a minute. It's once a week while we're filming, and it's almost 9:00, so I'm probably going to eat that for
I was going to say, and there's no need to defend yourself.
Right, thank you. I know, but I said it, and I realized to the other people, they're probably like, this bitch just said to stop eating frozen food, and she's going to go home and eat frozen food.
Again, we didn't. You said less. Yeah. And that's the key terminology.
Eat less. Thank you, Amber, for saving my face.
No, but that's what it's all about, because if we make unattainable goals for ourselves, we will always fall short.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's like so many people, like they go down this road of, I'm just going to be so fucking awesome at this. I have so much confidence. I'm ready. I'm enthused. I'm good. And then they jump into it, like you said. It's too fucking much. And
they give up.
They give up because once you hit that wall,
and that's not
easier to
that's
just
not
give
just
up
diet,
on it all.
Though that's a good one to go with diet. It's also just with any sort of practice, meditation. You know, or some of the other ones I can't think off the top of my head. But like yoga, I'm going to do this every day, and then you're just like, fuck it.
Or like the farmer's market produce. If I miss a week because I sleep in on Saturday because I'm a lazy bitch and I forget Friday night that I have to get up early enough on Saturday to go to farmer's market, and it's not a week that we're going together, so I don't have that accountability. I can't kill myself over it. I mean, that was terrible terminology. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make light of that. I can't beat myself up too hard over that because I'm human.
Right.
And if I'm making a concerted effort, I'm making a mindful attempt.
And you don't want to start to hate or despise something.
Right. You don't want to resent the chore to get the goal taken care of.
Exactly.
Because you're also going to fall short that way.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's just have attainable goals, have things that you allow yourself to be human with.
Exactly.
Hold yourself accountable, but at the same time be forgiving.
Right. And I think
if it was somebody else, would you say the same thing to them?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think one of the things we also addressed last week that we should also address this week, last episode that we should also address this episode is don't push yourself past your limits. Now, I think pushing ourselves past our limit or a little bit close to our limits is good, specifically when it comes to, for me, this is for me. I have really bad anxiety and depression, and I can become an agoraphobic very quickly as a stay-at-home mom. So for me, when I feel that kind of, oh my God, I don't want to leave my house type thing coming in, I will make myself either run to the store and pick something up, or hell, I'll even just get in my car and drive, go through a drive-thru, get a water, get something to drink.
Have some interaction.
Right, some sort of interaction. And I'm not saying go get fast food. The last time this happened, I literally got a free water from Taco Bell. Taco Bell has free water, by the way. You don't have to pay anything. You don't even have to pay for the cup. It's $0. So that's what I did. And I had that interaction, and I pushed myself so not to allow myself to fall into that hole.
Right.
So that being said, physically, if you are not able to get up and pick up trash while on hikes or walks or something, if you aren't able to do some of that physical activity, where am I going?
Setting attainable goals.
Okay, yes, thank you.
You know yourself best. So, like, our goals are for us.
Right.
And your goals need to be based on your life and your own personal journey, because just because you're enjoying our podcast doesn't mean that you have the same spiritual journey as us.
Exactly.
Like, you know, I personally, a lot of the things that I'm working on are building on things that I've been doing for several years.
And well, the whole point of goals is to be reaching out of your comfort zone and doing more things. So we do want to push yourself a little bit with your goals. You want to push
yourself, not beyond your limits, but go outside of your comfort zone. Exactly. Because that's where growth is.
Thank you for putting that into words. Yes. Exactly. Because I just started rambling about Taco Bell and I was like, where the fuck am I going?
I knew where you were going. I do that all the time. If you see me ever like just stare and I'm like, where the fuck was I going with that?
Right, exactly.
Like, shit, brain,
you put it perfectly into words. The point of goals is to push ourselves out of our comfort zone, but not so much so that you end up getting hurt, either physically or even mentally, I suppose.
Yep.
Well, I shouldn't even say I suppose, even mentally.
Right.
You know what I mean? Another one that we both share is like pretty much getting outdoors more. For you, I think you said it was like just sitting on your fucking porch outside.
I just want to enjoy my yard for at least 1 hour a day during the warm months.
With your fruit water, you know.
Right? Like,
gotta be careful in that.
I mean, it'll help me read more, right? Because A, it's hard to look at your phone screen when you're outside.
Yep.
I know this from personal experience.
Right.
And B, I want to read more. I have books I need to finish. I have books I've been gifted.
I love the sound of the fucking bugs. Oh, is that weird? Because I just mentioned gnats. I was like, well, be careful with the fruit water. But the sound of the bugs going, I can't even fucking do it.
I know.
What are they called?
The cicadas. You
don't like them?
No, it's that once when we lived in this house, I think I was telling you about it earlier today, where we had a janky ass back door, and it like the frame kind of didn't work right. A cicada once had gotten into the area where it didn't work and got and it got stuck there for when it died. So it was like vibrating in there and doing its death screech for like a while. I was freaked.
I don't mean to laugh.
Ow. Dude. Like, this was like, Larissa was less than 18 months old. Like, this is how long ago this was. And it I didn't know.
So horrific.
I did not know what cicada, like, it had been a long time since we'd lived anywhere that had cicadas.
I was going to say, they're not everywhere.
They're not everywhere. I forgot, so I didn't know what the fuck that noise was.
Are they mostly in the South, like Midwest, Southern states? They're not really up north.
I don't think they're up north at all. I don't think.
Right.
But like, it freaked me the fuck out.
The live ones are creepy.
Like, once I knew what it was, it freaked me out less. But I'm also like, a bug that can make that noise, I don't want to be too close to.
I love but when you're sitting on your porch and you hear it, it's
beautiful. Different.
Summer.
Oh yeah.
We actually used to chase our brother around with the dead ones. You've seen the dead ones, right? And he'd be like, get that bug away from me. And I'll be like, I'm gonna touch you with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd find them all over the trees. But personally, when I hear the sound of cicadas, because I've never lived in a place without them, I think it would be so eerie without the bugs. Is it weird?
Well, I mean, there's different bugs elsewhere. Right. It's just not that screechy cicada-y noise.
Right. It's just, I can't imagine because I've never
But, like, we get lots of birds. Like, the birds love our yard, and Corey loves birds, so there's, like, bird seed and shit out there. So...
I don't mean to laugh.
Birds aren't real, just kidding.
No, my husband and I were so stoned one time before I had my son. We were teenagers.
Yeah.
And there was one bird we named Bertram that went around our car. Excuse me. And my husband's like, it'd be a great idea. Let's put some bird seed right by our car for Bertram. Does that sound like a good idea? That sounds like
to a stoner, sure.
That sounds like I'm too fucking stoned that I should probably go to sleep and sleep that shit off. And I remember we were so stoned. We were looking out the window and all the birds came to eat that shit. He's like, yeah, there he is. There's Bertram. I woke up the next day. My car was covered in bird shit. I'm embarrassed. Like, it's one of those, like, stone moments I will never forget in my life because it's so fucking golden.
That's fucking hilarious.
It's golden! So when you say birds, that's my God. Like, be careful where you put the bird.
Yeah, I was going to say, luckily our cars are over there and the bird seed goes out in the yard over here because he likes to sit on the back porch and smoke a cigar, read a book with his coffee and listen to the birds and watch the birds.
So I'm more of an indoorsy person. That's why I put the get outdoors more down as my goal. Not necessarily for any sort of behavior. I feel like when people hear, oh, you're an indoorsy person, they automatically think, oh, you're lazy. Well, that's not the case. I like being, I have always preferred to read my book, to go outside, stay inside and read my book. It's something I want to do more often. Also, I'm going to be real with you, that my biggest reason why I'm not a big outdoorsy person is because I fucking hate mosquitoes. I hate mosquitoes. Yeah. And we live in an area where they're just fucking everywhere.
Yeah, but you can also, like, not telling you what to do, but there's certain plants that you could plant in your garden.
Right, I have heard that. Like, I think you can plant citronella itself, right?
You can.
You know? And I don't care what anybody fucking says. Those citronella candles don't work worth a shit.
They work better on flies, in my opinion, than mosquitoes.
Right.
In my opinion.
Right. And I don't want to put, like, growing up, I was outside all the time when I was at my grandmother's. Now, when I was a teenager, that's when I became more indoorsy. So what she would have is, there are bracelets, and there's also spray. But that's so much chemicals.
Yep, I don't want the chemicals on my body.
Thank you. Yes, no. So that's why I'm not necessarily against it if I go camping.
Oils or a lotion that you specifically make with specific oils that will repel, like, because they sell citronella oil and it's safe. You can put it in lotion or in an essential oil infusion, and you can wear it as a natural bug repellent. Like Corey has me. He likes to play with me, and so I have more sense of essential oil than I would have thought, because, like, he's like, can you make me like a bug repellent, like an all-natural bug repellent. So I've done that for him.
Citronella, lavender.
Yeah, I think
lemongrass.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah. I think I put lemongrass in there. I cannot remember what else, but he's also asked me, which was the fun one. He was like, make me something to, like, cover my scent. Make me something to, like, smell like the woods. So I used, like, cedar and pine.
Did it work?
It smelled so good.
But did it mask his scent? Was he hunting? Mm-hmm. Did it work?
I don't.
Oh, you don't know? No. He didn't bring anything home.
Yeah, that is the correct that is the answer.
No, yeah. I just asked because I never would have thought essential oils to mask scent. Now, I know some weird-ass hunters like to pour themselves in doe piss.
Right, which we're against.
So. You are? I just think it's fucking gross. Yeah. Is it unethical?
Well, yeah, it's unethical. But also, like, you don't have to even put it on yourself. You could put it in the area you're in, but it's still...
It's unethical.
I mean, I think that's essentially baiting.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
could be wrong, but
maybe
I'm wrong, and please don't hate me if you're a hunter.
Right, I won't go on to the hunting thing because I have lots of thoughts about it. But for the most part, I'm definitely pro hunting. But
but I will say, like, he's very natural and environmental. What's the right word? Ecosystem oriented in his hunting practices.
The deer are so out of fucking
young.
They're so out of control here.
Well, and not just that, but, like, he wants to take something that is too old for the breeding population.
Is the meat good? I'm not gonna sound like a bitch, but, like, it's not as good as the young bucks, is it?
Oh, of course not.
but it's more
ethical.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And I really appreciate that about his approach. He does try to be a very ethical hunter.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of it is he likes the time by himself in the woods.
Right. Well, I need some fucking deer salami. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that shit's bussin'.
Fuck, yeah.
That's bussin'. Like, if I'm gonna eat deer meat, I'm gonna salami that shit. Because I'm not a big deer eater, but the salami is good.
One of these days I'm looking forward to a nice stew,
Oh, yeah, because deer is it's got like gamey, that texture, so stew would be good. I had a deer chili once.
Break it down.
I wasn't expecting it to be deer, so I was very, like, appalled at the texture. If I was going to eat a type of animal like that, with that gamey texture, I think it would be buffalo.
Oh, I like buffalo.
I would probably eat
I wouldn't even call buffalo meat gamey.
You wouldn't? It has a different... I had buffalo burgers.
Taste.
It's not like cows. It's like... It's to me, it wasn't like cows. It was more chewy.
Isn't buffalo better for the environment, which would be like community oriented? I think it is. I don't know. We can look into that.
But we live in an area where you can get buffalo more like commonly.
Right.
Because my mother-in-law... Did you hear that?
That? Because that was my...
No, it was like... my ear started ringing like crazy. So maybe the ancestors are like... The buffalo. Eat the food of your ancestors. But like, for real though, my in-laws live down the road. They live in Oklahoma, down the road from a butcher that sells buffalo, and there's buffalo all in his fields. That's what he does. He's a buffalo farmer.
I mean, I pass buffalo working all the time.
It's so surreal.
But I feel like buffalo or bison, like I feel like I've read that, that is better for the environment as far as... I have no idea, but that's really cool. I will say that no mass farming of any kind is good for the environment, period. So that is not what I'm saying. So please don't misquote me.
But unfortunately...
Because I'm very much against mass almost any
Me too. But unfortunately, I don't think there are very many wild buffalo anymore. Are there? Well, Yellowstone? Or is that something else?
But you can do small farming. It's not as bad for the environment.
This is definitely a small farmer.
Yeah. So
Oklahoma
that's all I meant. I just didn't want anybody to be like, Amber's like down with large industry farming, and no, I'm not. I'm not down with large industry.
Oh, for a fact, I'm not. I'm
against all of the large industries.
Oklahoma is really a whole other fucking world. It's like stepping into another world. Bryson and I were there, and there's a whole fucking... We had to stop at a gas station, and on one side, there's a whole fucking thing of buffalo. And on the other side, there's these people that had, like, either just left a powwow or some shit, and there's this long-haired little Native American boy who's barefoot, and his mom's behind him, and she's got her outfit on for the powwow. And I'm like, I think we just went back in time. I was, like, literally, like, wow, oh my God, I love Oklahoma.
That is probably the only thing I can say I miss about Ashley's mom is she used to take us to powwows, and I loved going to powwows. Ashley and I keep saying we're going to go together again.
Drum circles? Oh my God, fuck yeah. I love that we're in the area where we can go to authentic places like that. Yeah. But when we go to visit Bryson's family, we are always passing things like that. May or may not have seen a ghost. Like, that's the thing with Oklahoma. You don't know if it's a ghost or if this is an actual, like, person. But I'm pretty sure I saw a Civil War soldier. Like, I swear to God.
Is this the same time?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the Civil War soldier.
Okay.
Like, he had a pail and everything. I was like, look, the only thing I can think is maybe coal miner, but I'm pretty sure coal miners aren't carrying pails. Like... He had
in Oklahoma?
Yeah, it makes no sense, does it? It was like Miami. Like right off Miami.
Okay.
So like we were on the way to Bryson's family's. Or I'm sorry, we were coming out of Seneca. which like goes into Oklahoma.
I mean, there's miners all over, like back in the day.
I'm just like,
I'm not saying it's not a ghost. I'm just saying maybe it was a miner's ghost, not a Civil War soldier's ghost.
It could have been
in that area,
right? Because
that would make a lot of sense.
Well, the Civil War was in Oklahoma. It was more of a Missouri thing, wasn't it?
I don't know the answers to this question. Ask me questions about World War II. I can answer them.
But point
not very well, but I can answer them.
Could have been a ghost. Could have been just an Oklahoma fucking man. Who knows? But anyway, buffalo meat.
Yeah, but again, being environmentally friendly, going back to like nature goals, right? Didn't I know? Not including your pregnancy time frame, you have a goal related to that specifically about food and...
Oh, yes. So I'm actually so devastated. And let me explain why. I'm not devastated that I'm pregnant.
Right.
That's a whole other story. What I'm devastated about is the fact that Amber and I fucking talked a couple months before I found out I was pregnant on Maybon. I set a goal for myself. I am very against mass farming. Mm-hmm. I am very, because of my personal spiritual beliefs, not everyone believes this way.
Right. This is just us.
I prefer to be vegetarian. Note, vegetarian, not vegan, because I like that light buttermilk ranch.
But I was thinking eggs and honey.
Oh, ranch. Yum. I'm Midwestern. And cheese.
I just don't give up eggs, man. Screw all that.
But, so I was doing so good for so many months. And then I got pregnant. And this baby was like, you need chili, you need meat pizza, you need beer. And that is not me. That is not me. I'm usually sugar-free. This baby cannot stand sugar-free. Has to be the real thing. I usually only eat vegetables because I'm a fucking vegetarian for the most part. Mm-hmm. I was a full-on vegetarian because I'd been a pescatarian for years. And I fully went and jumped the gun, and I was doing so well. And then I got pregnant, and this baby wanted meat. And I know some people can say it's okay to go ahead and be vegetarian while you're pregnant, but I chose not to.
Your decision.
That's my own choice.
Absolutely understandable.
And I eat so much meat now. It's with every meal. And I feel like people hear this and they're like, I eat meat with every meal too.
But when you don't normally eat meat with every meal, like Corey, because I've recently, just for health purposes, I've been changing my diet since 2019. Mm-hmm. And I've gotten closer and closer in my diet to being a pescatarian. But there's quite a few meals where I don't have meat with it, and the family's still getting used to that. They're still getting used to the fact that I don't want...
Oh my God, you can make meatless burritos, meatless fucking tacos.
Absolutely.
You can make...
Beans are great.
My mouth is watering, I'm so sorry. Anything that you can make with meat, you can make without meat. Just leave the fucking meat out.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe hamburgers.
I mean, but you can have I think you're not a fan, but I love a portobello mushroom burger.
I fucking love.
Then somebody else is not a fan. One of my other friends is not a fan.
Portobello mushrooms, or what we would do is grill them. We would stuff them when we were doing low carb, but. We would take the portobellos and just grill them over the fucking grill like a burger. I know, is your mouth watering?
Yes, because that's one of my favorite. Yeah, forget a vegetarian patty that's made up of whatever. Just get you a portobello mushroom. The texture is so similar to meat.
Swiss cheese.
Oh gosh,
fucking mayonnaise.
Yes, I love it. I love building it in so many different ways. Right. It's so good. I like it the traditional way with onion, tomato, lettuce, ketchup, mayo. I'm not a fan of mustard, so my burgers don't have mustard. I like it when you put Swiss cheese on it. And I'll even put more mushrooms and onion with that.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Because I love me a mushroom Swiss McDonald's. I know I said I don't eat much of you, and I really don't, but growing up I did. And they had an Angus
I remember when they came out with that.
Oh my God, it's gone. And now I don't eat at McDonald's anymore.
I was going to say, I don't. If I'm going to eat beef, it's not usually from out. It's something we cook.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't eat much beef because of my stomach. Yeah.
So my weakness is sushi. Mm-hmm. Because I love me some raw fish.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Same.
And meat pizza, because if I'm gonna have pizza, it's gonna have meat on it.
Oh, see, I like when people ask me like, "Oh, what kind of pizza do you like?" I'm like, as long as it has vegetables on it, I'm okay.
You and my husband are the same, and I can't. He loves Supreme pizza, and it's got all the onion or the.
I like Supreme with no pepperoni because pepperoni gives me the worst heartburn.
Oh, it does. It absolutely does.
It's like my eyeballs are
pregnant
red.
right now, and I'm like, I'm gonna eat some of that pizza when I come home, and I'm over here like I can feel
the heartburn starting now. You haven't even eaten yet.
I know. It's the same with chili. Eating chili when you're pregnant, it's like,
totally.
Ooh, I can taste this in my sleep. You know what I mean? Like for real. But in all seriousness, like if you're gonna grill, like you said, grill mushrooms, grilled potatoes. I'm not gonna lie, grilled baked potatoes are my absolute fucking favorite.
Well, and I love corn on the grill. Like what we do is we soak the corn, like you don't shuck it. You cut off the end. You put it in water, you soak it in water until it is completely wet, and then you put it on the grill in its own thing, and it steams inside the leaves. And then you shuck it afterwards, and it's got the grill taste. In some places, it'll have a little black char on it. It tastes so fucking good.
Oh my God, that sounds.
And if you want, you can put butter on it afterwards.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Yeah, it's so delicious. And you don't even have to use foil for it. Like it's so good for the environment.
You're
making less trash
foil when we grill. So that's something I suppose we should work on.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's a good way to do your corn without the foil. Without the foil. Not everything can be done that way, but the corn
because it
has the
zucchini.
Stuff. Oh,
zucchini,
absolutely.
But we put that in foil. And then we will also, because I was pescatarian for so long, fish is like my main before. We would also get the shrimp at the store, and we would put that with in a foil packet with butter, and then season that bitch, and then put it on the grill, and you got grilled fucking shrimp.
And I won't lie, as far as seafood goes, like I have that same mentality that you have with like you don't want to feed into the mass meat industry. Like I try to get the seafood that says like it's ethically caught and whatever.
It's gross. What are they like? Unless it's wild caught,
right? Yeah,
wild caught.
But I mean not just wild caught, but wild like. I want it to be something that is not negatively impacting the environment from which it is caught in. Well, just like not only are the animals maybe not treated the best in the mass farming industry, but it's not good for the environment as a whole. Mass anything.
Fucking eggs. It starts with a C. Fish eggs.
Caviar.
So bad how they like collect them. It's actually really sad.
I know.
But let me just say this: if you take anything from this video, for the love of God, stop eating tilapia.
Oh.
For the love of
like
God,
shit for a reason.
They eat shit.
I was able to disguise the taste of tilapia by making it into fish tacos.
My mom threw the fuck up when I told her I made that recipe. I was like, but I used salmon. I was like, I put some beans on there, some rice, some salmon. Yum. I was like, this shit's bussin'. My husband wouldn't eat it. He was like, Hua! I told my mom about it, and she's like, that's fucking gross, Maddie. Don't do that ever again. Because it was not bad.
When your kid buys fucking shit-tasting fish at the store, what do you got to do with, like, because I didn't want to taste tilapia, but I had, like, one of those 5-pound bags of frozen tilapia. Yeah, she got the big one, which the rest of it Shelby ate last month because it was gross. And like after the one night that we ate on it, because that was the meat we had in the house, I was like, rest of it's dog food. She doesn't care if it tastes like shit. Probably enhances the flavor to her. Right. Like, we're not eating it because like. I couldn't taste the tilapia through all the spices until Corey asked me, how can you eat that? It tastes like shit. And I was like, look, I put a bunch of tahini on it for you. I tried to cover the taste.
I literally made but I had salmon.
You had salmon, right.
So maybe I couldn't
taste, I couldn't taste the tilapia flavor until he asked me that. And then my brain, like, latched onto it and I couldn't untaste it. And I was like, I'm done eating now.
Right. He did that on fucking purpose.
Right?
You know he did.
Because he could still taste it through the tahini. But that's why I made mine into tacos, because I had guacamole on it. I had sour cream. I had taco sauce.
It sounds fucking nasty. Let's be
right,
clear.
Like,
it sounds
you know what?
gross, but it's
as
good.
somebody who loves fish tacos and isn't always a fan of like the fruity flavors they like to try and put on fish tacos.
Mango.
Yeah, like mango. I like pineapple and shrimp.
Ooh, Baja sauce.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good. But when I'm not a fan of mango anyway, right? So like I like me a fish taco or a shrimp taco that's made up like a regular taco. I just think it tastes so good.
I mean, I don't say that. Well, you know what? I could see it with shrimp because they have like shrimp fajitas. I imagine it has something similar. Yeah. Not a fan of fajitas myself. I don't like the meat. Because every time I take a bite, it's like I can't get a full bite, so I end up pulling out like a slice of fucking steak or a slice of chicken.
Yeah, but I strictly like shrimp or vegetarian fajitas because I love the vegetables.
My mom made portobello fucking fajitas.
Ooh, that would be good.
Like it was strips
of portobello.
So you can literally do almost anything. And you don't need that artificial.
Right, exactly. That's why I was bringing up the portobello mushrooms, because you can replace your mass industry meat if you want to, right? Like, again, we're talking about Maddie's goal, and if this is in line with you, then this really...
Unfortunately, I won't be able to start this goal for another 4 months. Almost 3 months. That's fucking terrifying.
Wow. But, you know, it's something that's good... to think about and plan for, and then like you can do meal preps like later and keep that stuff in mind in line with your goals. And in the meantime, you can stick with the goals that aren't necessarily involved with mass meat, because you can't tackle that one yet. I just thought it was really important for people to hear.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So that's a thing.
Yeah, for sure. Because like a huge goal for me, because like ever since, I don't remember what episode, it was early on in the podcast, you fucking mentioned those people who only have a mason jar worth of trash for the month.
Oh my God, that's so weird.
It has haunted me.
I'm not hating on it, but you realize a lot of that trash is gum wrappers.
You said that.
And it's like, but gum's not good for the environment either, because birds eat it.
Yeah,
and, you know what I mean?
I don't chew gum because one of my friends ruined it for me. I won't tell you all how, because if you like gum, I won't ruin it for you, but... Yeah.
That reminds me, I have to look up the ending of Tusk. Because you said that my friend ruined it for me, and I was like, oh, right, Amber ruined that. So I gotta look that up. Do they know he's a human? Like, or because you said he's in like a zoo.
Well, it's his friends that go visit him.
So nobody else knows he's a human?
I have no idea. They don't really cover that. It's just a really twisted ending.
What the fuck? Didn't he ask that bitch to shoot him? And she just didn't? What is C-U-I-N-T? Oh my God, I misspelled that.
That's so funny, because you said that and my brain went cute. And there's an episode of Mike Tyson Mysteries where this guy with the last name of C-U-N-T, he wants their help, and everybody's like saying... The word, right? And Pigeon, who usually is like the most foul-mouthed asshole character, he goes, "Can't you people see it's cute? Have you never seen a cute before in your life? C-U-N-T spells cute. I lived down the street from a very lovely couple growing up. There were Mr. and Mrs. Cute. There was Harry Cute and his wife something cute, and then their daughters, I'm a cute and
Rosie.
Bea Cute.
Oh, Bea.
And it was so fucking funny.
Well, Amber, please make this promise to me that if somebody turns... Oh my God, I can't even say it. Just do what you need to do. Don't fucking sit there and be like, no, I can't kill you. Kill me, damn it, like for real.
Oh my God. I promise, but please don't ever... I put out there into the universe that will never, ever happen. I'm giving with this hand. I'm receiving with this hand. That shit will never, ever happen.
No. I will. No. I'll do it to you
that
too,
is terrifying.
Amber, I promise.
Yeah. Put me out of that misery. I don't want to live like that.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
What a fucking bitch. I'm mad. I'm not going to watch it
I did not remember that he asked her, but you're right. He did.
And she didn't do it?
No.
What a bitch. I'm pretty sure the lady in The Fly did it.
I don't remember The Fly very well.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to gag.
No, that's why I don't watch it.
But I'm pretty sure that bitch shot her husband because he was a fucking fly.
And you know what, babe? I'll do it for you.
I definitely will.
Ain't sleeping with that. No. But, you know, I really do want to create less trash. Like, you know, so I'm not going to dispose of my husband's body. But when I do, it'll be natural.
It'll be in the garden.
Right. Because one of my other goals is, like, I want to create conversations about our attitudes in the society towards death.
Oh, yeah.
I want to change
I made that face because that was
I know, it's a hard.
It is.
It's a hard conversation. But, like, I've already talked to my mom, and I told her, like, I'm against embalming. I'm against, like, the unnatural way we deal with death and mourning. And, you know, she has put me in the position where I'm going to be dealing with all her last stuff. And she has a living will, and I'm like, look, you know, can we have this conversation where I let you know that, like, I'm against embalming? You know, if they have to drain the blood from your body, like, it will be put into the earth because that's how it naturally should be. And do you agree with that? Because if you're putting me in charge, like, these are my beliefs.
Right.
And
is she okay with that?
Yes, she is absolutely okay with that. And I asked her if she'll put it in the living will. So if either of my siblings has a problem with it, that the problem is the backing of the paperwork.
If you were going to do an open casket, wouldn't it?
No. So, like,
okay. I was like,
and that's about changing. That's where it comes from with the changing of attitudes. Like, there has to be a huge change in that entire industry. But somewhere the conversation needs to happen. Somewhere it needs to start, and it's something that's very important to me because. Mourning in our society is something that we treat as if it needs to be held behind closed doors. We treat mourning as if it's embarrassing to be seen crying in public. We treat mourning as if it's not a valid human emotion, but we all deal with it at some point or another, and it's a 1,000,000% valid human emotion. And as humans, I think we all anticipate others to mourn us when we're gone. So mourning needs to be naturalized. It needs to be something that we don't see as ashamed. We don't need to feel bad for mourning. If we walk around crying because somebody that is dear to us is no longer available for us to talk to and we cry, we shouldn't feel bad for that.
Well, and you know, you say change the attitudes, and I don't know if this goes with what you're saying, but I've been to a Catholic funeral, I've been to a Christian funeral, and I've been to a pagan funeral. And I can most certainly say, in a non-biased way, I absolutely preferred the pagan funeral because the Christian funeral is so fucking depressing. It is so focusing on, is this person going to go to heaven or is this person going to go to hell? And so focusing on the sadness. I definitely think grieving is important. Please don't misunderstand. Whereas with the pagan funeral, it was all about the happiness of that person, celebration of life versus... Now, granted, it's okay to be sad, and I totally understand that, but I think that's something that Christians, no offense, I hope, but we are a pagan podcast, that's something that they, you know, kind of center everything around.
Well, they center it around a mournful attitude, but openly crying, that you don't see that at funerals. If people are crying, they're doing it hushed behind their hands. They're dabbing at their eyes. But when you've lost somebody that's close to you, the most natural thing is to wail that pain.
Which and that again is a pagan practice. Exactly.
Like, and it is letting that out. It is exercising that throat chakra. It is letting the pain out of that heart chakra. It is healing you by allowing your pain to go out there.
So I have cried like that. I'm sure you have. I'm sure many people have. And it's not a fun experience. No. I remember when I did it. It was after a pregnancy loss, which is very different than losing a family member, but it is also just as mournful and hard. And so when I did that, it felt, and I wrote it in my Book of Shadows. I recently read it because I found my Book of Shadows. it felt as though when wailing, I'm sure the neighbors were like, what the fuck's going on? My ancestors were literally sharing and taking some of that pain as I was releasing that sound. And I felt as though I was surrounded by my ancestors in that mourningful wail is the only way to describe it. It's a open-mouthed belly cry.
It is. And I'm glad you brought that up because I've lost 2 pregnancies. And the first one I definitely mourned appropriately. And the second one, due to many, many, many circumstances, I did not mourn appropriately. And it negatively affected me emotionally for a long time. Whereas the first lost pregnancy, I still think about it. I think about how old that child would be. But I also, there's other things like I wouldn't have Gia if I'd had that pregnancy come to full term. So, there's reasons for everything.
For everything, absolutely.
But at the same time, like, that is something that you do need to mourn because as a woman and as a man, like a man who is anticipating with joy that child, like, and you lose it, even though it's not from your body, it was from your body.
Well, it's one of the only, to that life. Well, it's the only death that happens inside you that you physically purge
as a woman,
out, as a woman, exactly. So I think that in itself has its own.
And as a man, you have absolutely you can't even help your partner. Right. You can't do anything to save your offspring.
So I suppose I should have said trigger warning. So I do apologize.
Well, we have never said trigger warning. No, we haven't. And but we talk about some shit, and I always mark our shit as explicit.
Right. So
that's a conversation we've never had.
No, it's not. It's not. And I never thought about
warnings, it. But we talk about some sensitive stuff. We talk about real world stuff, and losing pregnancies and losing people, I guess maybe I should have started up with the trigger warning, bringing up death, but I don't want it to be something where you have to have a trigger warning.
Absolutely.
Even with a loss of a pregnancy, it is a natural thing that so many of us go through.
What my doctor told me was, it's the price of being a woman. And I know that sounds horrible, but it's really not because it happens to more women than live births.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is something I think that definitely goes with the changing
the attitudes because
attitudes towards death.
You talk about mourning, and I think you even mentioned what must your neighbors think, and that's what I want to change because when you're in pain, it shouldn't matter. But when it was made very clear to me that Corey's brother was not going to survive, I waited until he left. And the kids were whatever they were doing. And I closed my bedroom door and I wailed into my mattress so as to not upset anybody else with my pain.
Yeah.
And as much as I want consideration for others in all aspects of life, those who are mourning should not have to consider other people to be able to feel their pain.
I think I read
tribes,
certain tribes, it's a ritual.
It is a ritual, and even in Sicily, to this day, to my understanding, there are women that their task when someone passes away is to fucking wail at the graveside, to wail by the coffin.
Oh my God, what if that's where banshees came from?
Maybe.
I'm so sorry you say that. That was my first thought was, oh my God, is that what a banshee is?
Maybe.
Who knows? Or they say a banshee brings death with their wail. What if the death already came and they're mourning
it? Maybe, and the legend's been bastardized over time.
Right, I could see that.
But it's so natural to emote when you have such a great loss. And we don't treat it that way. We treat it like something to be hidden behind closed doors. We treat it like something we're afraid of death, so we preserve our dead for as long as humanly possible. Ha, ha, ha. Sorry, it was a bad pun.
No, it's fucking gross.
Yeah.
No, that's my attitude towards death. I was going to say, well, it's all fucking gross. And then I was like, That's exactly what Amber's fucking talking about, which reminds me very much of when that one guy that we did an interview said that, I like these conversations because I like my own attitude towards any sort of topic being kind of brought into like, holy shit, that I didn't even realize that. So
yeah, but like I feel like as an entire society that needs to change. Now, the funeral industry is not going to change that.
Oh no,
they're making too much money. Yeah,
right.
And I need to like find people who have a shared interest, because like obviously there's going to be people that come to me and say you can't just bury bodies without like taking the organs out because you're going to pollute the earth if you don't put them in a casket. Well, okay, fine. Let's put it in a casket that'll rot faster.
Well, I'm an organ donor, so I very much promote that people donate their organs for others if you are able, because unfortunately there are so many. For example, if you're overweight, you can't donate your organs, which fucking sucks, but I get it. I do. But if you're able to donate your organs, that's something I definitely push, but that's just me. But as for just taking it out and throwing it away, so it's such a waste.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
I don't mean to say that's such a waste.
I mean, but it is, because the earth, how has the cycle of the earth gone since before the modern age of funeral industry?
We buried our dead.
We burned our dead. We buried our dead. We put them in bogs. We did something to put that back to the earth so that the earth could feed on it. Now, again, this is why I need like more people involved that have more knowledge than me, because people will say, well, back then there were fewer people. Yeah, you're right. There were fewer people. Lots of fewer people. And that's where cremation does come into play for those who are interested.
Well, we're running out of places to fucking bury our dead. I mean,
right. Really. Well, and again, we're running out of places because nobody's decomposing.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder how long you last. Not to be morbid, but I do. Yeah, it's like, exactly. So if like people in the future dig us up, are we going to be fresh?
Because like we'll be talking about this kind of stuff in our episode next week on vampires.
Yes, check it out. Are we going to be fresh?
Digging up dead people. But yeah, like it's a conversation that needs to happen, and it's a goal for me. It's a long-term goal, right? I don't even know where to start. The first place to start is talking about it. Is talking about that conversation. Eventually, we're going to have another episode where we delve deeper into death. But it's somewhere to start.
Along with our spiritual journey, that's where it'll have to go with, because changing the attitude on that.
Just like eliminating all the plastic from my life. It's going to take time. The biggest thing is I don't absorb more plastic into my life while I actively, mindfully try to remove the plastic I can remove.
And unfortunately...
And I can't get rid of it all, even if I want to.
Well, and I hope you don't mind me saying, I think it will be a little more difficult because of where we live. Amber and I also had this discussion. In cities like New York City, possibly Kansas City, St. Louis, I don't know.
Yeah,
but in bigger cities, specifically Seattle and New York City, they have markets where nothing is in a container, and you bring your own container, and everything is weighed out, and you pay that way. Unfortunately, we do not have that option. Many of the stuff that we get comes in plastic. I'm sorry, I'm a big believer in if we used... glass jars for milk in the past, we absolutely can do it again.
Absolutely.
But it's cheaper for the company.
Right. Yeah, because also you don't have to pay a milkman per neighborhood. You pay one truck driver to go to X amount of stores with 1 billion gallons of milk. I know it's not really 1 billion. I'm exaggerating.
Have you had that glass chocolate milk? It's chocolate milk in the glass at Walmart. Please try it, bitch. It is so thick. It is like, I don't like thin chocolate milk.
Oh, it has to be thick. I can't do it much if I'm going to...
Okay, since you're going to be trying to get less plastic and more glass, please try the milk in the glass jar. Okay. It is the best fucking milk I have ever had. I don't know why, but particularly the chocolate. Please try it. It's at Walmart.
All right, I will, because... and
the
King
Cash Saver has their own small... Sorry, not to interrupt. King Cash Saver has their own small dairy product or farm that they get glass bottles in, and you bring the glass bottles back to be recycled.
Oh,
and you can either get $2 more, or you can buy another fucking gallon of milk for 50% off because you brought back the glass.
That's
absolutely
beautiful. See, and I love that you mentioned that, because I was just about to say, and these little steps are what makes the unconscious awareness among everybody. It raises the vibration when more people do these little things. And then you'll see companies do stuff like encourage recycling. We're going to put it out in a glass jug. If you bring it back,
and then they reuse
you get money off or you get a discount for more.
Please try that.
Yeah.
Because first of all, that chocolate milk, like I said, is bussin'. But Walmart does not do that. It's only King Cash Shaver because they're connected to a local dairy farm.
Right. But we can hope that more companies, like Louisville, Kentucky, where my oh, whoops. We already sold ourselves out many episodes ago. I guess now it's family members we sell out. Shit. Anyway, he lives in Louisville, and you can't find, like when we go there, I have never seen a Walmart in Louisville, Kentucky. Really? Now, I'm sure there are some somewhere, but when I go to Kentucky to visit my brother, we don't ever go to Walmart, and it's because the attitude of the city itself is shop local. So they discourage Walmart from coming into town. They discourage big companies and chain companies, and they encourage small delis. They encourage every restaurant gets their produce from local farmers. They encourage all that kind of shit. And I think it's wonderful. And if more cities could be like that, where the city itself helped encourage the citizens and helped encourage the companies that were in the area to do better and raise that vibration, like we talked about in the last episode, like part of a spiritual journey is raising your vibration, right? And so like these activities help raise the vibration of the entire society. And when enough people in the society are making these vibrational changes, then you see things like, you know, the King Cash Shaver.
Absolutely.
They had to develop that relationship, or the dairy farm had to reach out to them, and they had to accept that offer. You know what I mean? So like the more that vibration rises among all of us, the more likely we are to see those kinds of things show up out here, where you can have a store where you take your own packaging in and you get your cereal and whatever in that reusable stuff. And that would make me so happy, especially if I could make it all glass, just because I read about how plastic lowers your vibration as a whole. And like, as I was telling you, I need to, like, when I get new prescription for my glasses, I'm going back to metal glasses because I learned that right after I got plastic frames.
Well, two things. One, I want to apologize to everybody on our YouTube for me answering that text message. Unfortunately, my family is going through a little bit of a rough patch emergency situation. So I've been trying to keep up to date with them. So if I do answer my phone, that is why. Second of all, you know, one of the things, again, my husband likes to call me pretentious for wanting to be this way. It's very offensive.
Yeah.
But I guess I get it because we go to our Whole Natural Grocers and I can get a thing of peanut butter there for $12. And my husband, I hate going to that fucking store with my husband, dude. He's so embarrassing. He's like, $12 for a peanut butter? Shit. I'm gonna go to the fuck. I swear to God.
Oh my God.
He does that shit so loud on purpose. And one time I was fucking around and we were checking out. And the lady was like, would you like a organic turkey for Thanksgiving? And I was like, no, we're vegan. And she goes, well, we got tofurkey. Or it's like, and my husband's like, why are we shopping here? I'm like, you are such a dick. I know. I'm like, you are such a dick.
I love going to Natural Grocers. They have great produce. And there are
some expensive items, let's be clear. There is $12 peanut butter.
Yeah, but I believe in the beginning, and I think it's unfortunate because I think the clientele in this area made them change it. But in the beginning, when I first shopped there, they had self-serve bins of the grains and the nuts and stuff.
Did.
Now it's all prepackaged in plastic.
Oh, that sucks.
It does suck. And
well,
I
they
think
have
a lot
good priced herbs too.
They do. Well, and all their nuts and grains are so well priced.
Are they?
Oh yeah, they've got like shaved coconut, toasted and untoasted, nice. Really good prices.
See, you can get some deals there, and then some deals you can't get there.
Right.
You know, but granted, not all of the peanut butter is
expensive as fuck.
I have not looked. Yeah. I want to get some of their vegetarian, like Beyond Burgers. But yeah, I hear it's expensive, which sucks. But
it's all like grain fed or grass fed, not grain fed. It's all like grass fed, organic. You know, grade A. Like it's good meat, but it's.
I went there.
Pricey.
It is
It's classy.
And again, like I said, my husband makes fun of me because I told him, I was like, and I am addressing this as a goal for society, like you did. Right. Let's change our attitude on organic, healthy living, because for some reason my husband and other people, definitely a lot of men and some women like to pair it with, oh, that's being a hippie pussy.
And it's like, or you're being bougie.
Yeah, bougie.
Or you're being too good. Like I addressed in the last episode, I'll go ahead and talk about it real quick in this episode. As I have changed my life and become living a more spiritual path and been mindful and actively working towards certain goals, and I've shared that information with people in my lives, some people take it as an affront and they're like, oh, you think you're better than everybody else, or oh, you're so picky. Well, no, I'm not picky, I want to eat healthy.
Well, that's why I want to address specifically in this podcast. One, you can do it and not have to spend a lot of money. And I want to address that because people seem to think organic, healthy living is like spending a lot of money.
Nope.
Now, if you have the money, all the power to you, bitch, I would. Right. You know what I mean? But if you can't, I am a broke ass. Like, I'm a stay-at-home mom with 2 kids. I'm going to be doing it cheap.
Right. And beyond that, like, okay, so like talking about gardens and stuff, people think, oh, it's so expensive to start a garden. Well, no, it's not. You buy some inexpensive seed packets, and then those plants, as long as you take care of them, they will keep producing for you all season long.
Right.
My tomatoes, we're still producing tomatoes in like December because we had such a weird year.
Right, it was fucking weird. That is crazy.
And I went through and I picked them off and I threw them out into the bamboo. So either we'll get some wild tomato plants sprouting out there that the birds will love, or the birds just got some food because I wasn't eating them because they like kept getting frosted and stuff. So they couldn't have been good.
I know there are plenty of men in my life that have like this idea that, oh, well, that's not manly. I have to eat meat and have 4 heart attacks by the time I'm 50 to be a man.
I mean, as healthy as my husband is, his dinner quite often is the meat from that night and bread or rice or potatoes.
It's like
and
eating
if we have a fresh vegetable, he will eat it, but he won't eat cooked vegetables.
Like
he does not like cooked vegetables.
Being like healthy and organic and
it's not bougie, it's not girly.
It's not girly.
No, it's called living a healthy life.
Culture, let's talk about pop culture for a minute before we get off here. In pop culture, love Parks and Rec. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Oh, I love that show.
The main fucking character,
Ron Swanson. Yeah.
That's the ideal manly man in America, and it's like, no, he's going to die.
Right, he has that like entire meat barbecue thing. Like, oh my God, like so much meat.
He's like, I can't eat this banana. I have to eat meat. You know what I mean? Like, so a lot of people, unfortunately.
Pop culture does influence you. Then, speaking of pop culture and talking about going out into nature, let's just talk about Into the Wild for a second.
Wow.
Not the way to go. Like, bless his heart.
Right.
But if you're going to go out into nature and you're going to try and forage, you can't follow just TikTokers that forage. Like, and props to all of them, because every TikTok forager I've ever seen like tells you, don't just like watch me and then go try and eat shit in the wild. Like, you got to do your own research and whatever.
Well, now that I did research,
before you go out into the wild, you need to know the environment you're going to be in. You need to know the safe plants.
Don't mushroom hunt.
No, not without knowledge. Yeah. You've got to know. It makes me
sick because that shit'll kill you.
It will.
I mean, like, it will.
Well, and then young man Into the Wild, he ate, you said it was seeds, right? He ate seeds that were poisonous, that caused him to starve to death because it paralyzed him.
And I wonder if he
was paralyzed,
right,
he was right by a plant that was an antidote to the poisonous seeds that he ate. But not only did he eat poisonous seeds because he didn't know that he shouldn't, but he didn't know that his salvation was right there growing by him too.
Makes me sick.
And he could have saved his own life if he had had the knowledge. So the whole point is, I'm not talking shit on this boy. Pretty sure his name was Christopher.
Yeah, he died
He died a horrible death all by himself in a bus in Alaska. And my only thing is, like, if you know of that story, or if you have thoughts of going off into the wild, you need to know what you're doing before you go live off of nature. Yes, our ancestors did it. They did it very successfully.
But they were smart.
But they knew what plants they could eat. They knew what was safe and what wasn't. And if you have aspirations of taking your spiritual journey in that direction, like, we just want to make sure that you do it from the right mindset and know what you're getting into.
Well, it makes me sick because part of me wonders, did he still have his mind? Was he, while he was paralyzed, was he still able to keep his eyes open and sleep, or was he in a comatose state and didn't know what was happening? But to me, it would be torture to literally lay there and know you're starving and you need to drink and you can't fucking move. I don't know. So just thinking about that makes me physically ill. Also, let's say don't go live with the fucking grizzlies.
Yeah, they don't love you. You're their food and you just came to visit them.
I want them to become at one with nature.
Right. Okay.
Don't go live with the fucking grizzlies.
Do it responsibly. Do it along with nature, not what you want. Do it in line with nature.
I watched the documentary.
Grizzly bears and humans don't live together for a fucking reason. And if you think that you're so special that you can live with them and survive that, well, props to you having faith in yourself, but be realistic. Is it good for those bears to have you join them? No, it's not.
Also, it was
be good to nature if you're gonna go be in nature.
It was a matter of fucking
off my
time.
soapbox.
No, it was a matter of fucking time. Like, I watched a documentary on that guy, and he's like, the bear's eating me, and it's like, what the fuck did you think was gonna happen? Granted, I realize I'm not being fair, because if a bear was eating me, I'd probably react the same way.
Right, but like, are you gonna live with them and pretend that they aren't gonna eat you? Or are you gonna
go pet them? Right. And like, bro, first of all, there's no escaping a grizzly. Like, unless you play dead, but you're pretty much dead. There's no escaping. I think it's one of the, if not the largest North American predator.
I'm pretty sure, well, not including polar bears, I think it is. I think polar bears are slightly larger.
Well, they're in North America, aren't they?
Yeah, well, technically I think they are. Well, but I'm bad at geography,
but then global warming. But like,
right, so be good to nature, like I said. Yes. Just...
and another warning before we get off here. My family is a huge let's feed the wild animals family. And I always have...
It's not good for the animals.
I know. But
not judging your family, I'm just telling them.
Well, let me explain. We always have pets of... my mom sent me a picture, and she had 4 baby raccoons on her porch, because she'll just leave out cat food if there's any stray cats. Mm-hmm. First of all, raccoons are horrible. Mm-hmm. I have a... Don't feed the deer, is what I'm getting at, okay? You want to feed a possum? Please do. They need food. They're amazing animals. They are.
No, they're gross.
They kill ticks. They're
terrifying.
They're immune to
They traumatize 7-year-old Ambers.
they kill ticks. They eat a lot of ticks.
Yes, they do good things for the environment.
They do great things for the environment.
For the environment, they're great.
They're not even necessarily sickly towards people. That you can't get a disease from them.
From the standpoint of good for the environment, I say, don't feed wild animals at all, because it's not good for them. Because if they think that they can get from humans, then they're going to come up to somebody who's not cool with it, and then a cull fucking happens. And culls are terrible. I hate it when they call sharks. I hate it when they call gators. I fucking hate it when they call anything. I'm sorry, nature kills. That's why we as humans who have soft, fleshy bodies and can't defend ourselves should probably use our fat brains to make sure we're being safe and not blame all the animals for acting like animals.
Well,
it makes
me sad. Well, not only that, to me, my thought process, because of where we live, is, and just to be clear, we leave cat food out for the stray cats, okay? Other things come along. It's not with the intention of, I'm going to tame this wild animal.
Right, no, I'm not talking about you. We've talked, I watch Fatal Attractions, and some of the episodes are about people that, they go out and they feed the bears, and then bad things happen. And then the bears wind up getting killed.
Well, and it's the deer as well, because deer associate people with food, and it's fucking so sad when a buck will walk up to a hunter and they'll just shoot him. My sister and I actually experienced an amazing thing. I've talked about this, I think, before on our podcast, which is... Me, my grandmother, and my sister were 4-wheeling, and we stopped because there was a little young buck, and it walked right up to us, and it ate out of our hand. It ate berries out of our hand.
And had been habituated to people.
Oh, absolutely. We got to touch it.
Because they should see you and run.
Oh my God, we touched it. We petted it. It was like, oh my God, this experience is never going to happen again. Oh my fucking God. We named him Willie. And then we take off on our fucking 4-wheeler, and the fucking deer followed us. Which means it was either a pet or it was extremely fucking stupid. And I can't imagine it would be that stupid. I think what happened was somebody had been feeding it, or maybe it had been raised by people and they released it, because people do that sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't think that buck lasted the season, unfortunately. Right. And that, to me, that's unethical.
And and I hear that some hunter probably habituated it to people so that he could easily hunt that deer.
Horrible.
I don't know.
I didn't
but
even think about that.
Do that.
As a child, it was an amazing, magical experience. I'll never fucking be able to do that again.
Oh, yeah. That's like when I found the butterfly that was like dying on the sidewalk, and I picked it up because I was so sad that it was dying, and it like passed away in my hands. Right. And my mom still has that butterfly to this day, which is against my beliefs, but not my mom's.
It's magical. It was magical, but I do wonder. I don't think the buck, unfortunately, is still alive. I wish it was. I'm sure they live a long time. But if it was that
it probably didn't survive because it wasn't afraid of people.
Exactly.
It approached it, and it got killed during hunting season if it survived.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And bears, like you said, we have black bears around here. We don't want to feed the black bears, unfortunately, because people will kill them.
Right. They'll get bold. Well, and they'll
become a danger to people too.
Right. They'll become a danger to people, because one was an old lady out in like Alaska or somewhere that had grizzlies, and I'm pretty sure it was grizzlies that she was feeding.
What the fuck?
And she died because she was telling a big grizzly bear to leave a cub alone, and that it pulled her out of her house or something.
Oh my God!
But she had habituated all the bears, and
not
so of course they had to
but just to be like, hey, leave that alone.
Well, unfortunately, you gotta let nature do its thing. Yeah,
I don't know. I talk to animals.
Yeah, but if you live in a rickety cabin out in like the middle of nowhere, and you're a very elderly individual who has habituated all these bears to getting food from you, you should probably stay away from them when they're hungry and angry.
Oh my God.
Because at this point she had realized it was a danger, and so she had stopped feeding them, and that's why they were all coming up. Yeah. And so like they were hungry. It's bad. Yeah. If you like animal stories, Fatal Attractions, great show. Love it.
That's really sad. It's sad because I can see myself I have yelled out the window at wild animals fighting, like, hey, stop that. And then they stop and they look at you and they're like, but I don't see anything wrong with that because they're not bears. Yeah. You know what I mean? I do that with cats too. I can't sit there and listen to wild animals kill each other. I'm gonna have to say something. That doesn't mean I'm gonna run outside, but I absolutely will open up my window and say something. You know what I mean? I grew up in the country. Yeah, that's my life.
Just like there were claw marks on the windows because they were trying to get her from out.
The bears? Yes. Well, who the fuck does that with bears? I'm talking feral cats. Like if I see,
I understand. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's just like the whole thing's scary, and I just go like, just don't habituate wild animals on purpose because like it's not good for them.
See, and that's the problem again with like my family. We leave out food for
domestic animals.
Well, feral cats are just like specifically.
Well, feral cats were at one point domesticated.
Right, exactly. But the problem with doing that is you're going to
get raccoons and possums and other little critters that
I don't necessarily have a problem with possums, though. I do love them myself.
I just mean like you're inviting those things into your environment. Is like I'm just like agreeing with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know possums will do that too. Like I've had multiple friends that possums have gotten into their houses and just like popped out of a cabinet, and it's like, how did you get in my house? And they're freaking big.
They find me. I have not left any food out at this new house because I'm not going to do that, because it's also really bad. Like, please don't judge me, everyone. It's also really bad because then you get 1,000 cats. It's not recommended, but I love animals. I'm not going to stop. So anyway, I haven't left any out with this house because I'm sorry, I don't trust my people that I'm buying the house from not to hurt them. And I still have a groundhog. And I still have a fucking possum. And I still have crows. They just find me. I don't have to leave anything out for them.
Right. Like, no, I understand. Because that's one thing that I love about this house. Because even before Corey was putting the bird seed out, like, we just have so much wildlife all around us all the time.
Just watch them. Like, that's what I'm doing with this house. Granted, I need to break up a feral cat fight because I'm not going to listen to them kill each other. And usually all you have to do is open the window and they're like, oh, what's that? You know what I mean?
Feral cats aren't going to try and eat you. Like,
no, bears! What a crazy bitch! Like, I'm sorry, but like maybe a black bear. Maybe a black bear. They're little. I mean, they're all right.
If you can eat me, we're gonna have our respectful
black bears don't
from
necessarily eat people. They're just.
I didn't say if you do eat me. I said if you can. If you have the ability. I think we're just gonna keep a respectful distance from each other. That's my personal view.
Like, I mean, I grew up though in the boondocks, so I feel like I have a healthy fear of black bears, but if I had to choose, I'd rather face a black bear than a grizzly bear any fucking day of my life.
Well, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I just mean like because of the fact that you can eat me, we're just gonna like stay our distances from each other. I'm not afraid of black bears,
right?
But I'm not gonna fuck with that.
Oh, absolutely
because
not.
it could eat me if it wanted to. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you saw recently. Again, before we get off here, I'm sorry we keep going, but 500-pound black bear. Because
eat me.
because people are feeding it, interfering. There's a whole bunch of bears in this fucking town, and everybody's like, "They're our pets," and they're feeding it. Well, they started breaking into the house.
Of course, and that's what happens with bears.
They were gonna put the 500-pound black bear down, and the people were pissed. They were like, "No, he's our friend. His name's like, I don't know, it was something like Chunky Boy or I don't know. He's our friend, you can't put this bear down." So the town insisted, this was last month.
I feel like I did read this.
Insisted that they do DNA testing, and it cleared the 500-pound bear. He was not the one breaking in, so he is free to live in their town.
Wow.
They saved their collective town
bear.
pet.
That's some dedication to the community right there.
Well, and also
talk about collective consciousness.
Fucking DNA testing to save a fucking bear.
How much could that have cost?
Also, I'm sorry, black bears are not very big. They're small. They're medium sized. Yeah. So a 500-pound black bear, I don't think that thing's breaking in anywhere. I mean, he can barely fucking move. Fucking hell. They showed a video of him. He was walking like a dog tick.
Oh, is he?
Like a fucking dog tick.
I was just picturing like Hercules bear versus overweight black bear.
Overweight. We're talking.
Well, it's because everybody's feeding him. That's not healthy for him.
Pet, right?
Oh
my God.
Bless his heart.
Right.
I'm sure he's happy.
You know
about
what, though? I'm sure he's happy. That's what I was going to say.
I'm sure
but I'm pretty sure that I had read somewhere that people loved a crocodile and they worshipped him as a type of god. So they would feed him pigs and chickens, and he fucking ate himself to death. Good for the crocodile. I'm glad. I'm sure he was happy. But that's also kind of fucking cruel. Damn. Like,
right,
I mean, they showed a picture of the crocodile. It was fat. I've never seen a fat crocodile.
People should just not fuck with things that we don't have business fucking with, and it'll all be okay.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
But
so go out into nature, but be respectful of nature. Yes,
exactly. And if you look out your window and you see a little groundhog, say hello through the window.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe I think a lot of the reason why the animals keep coming to me, per se, again, even without leaving food out, because that's something I did growing up. I don't do it anymore.
Right.
Is because I fully believe it has something to do with my energy going, hey, they're not going to
hurt you.
This person's not going to
make you go away.
Exactly.
They'll let you build a home and be cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I fully believe that's what it is.
I do. I understand that because when I have wild animals in nature regard me, like if you ever catch the eye of a squirrel or a bird, and like they actually regard you for a second, like
my God,
I'll be like,
have pictures.
Hey, baby. And I just keep moving on my way. I appreciate them. I acknowledge them.
I think my crow brought me an onion. Really? No, dead ass. Yeah. When I say crow, I mean a murder of crows.
Yes.
There's multiple, and I'm like,
an entire family.
There's a fucking onion on my porch. Well, thank you. Thank you. They're like, hey,
just checking in.
Don't eat it. You may end up like that one guy into the wild. But no, I don't know how this was a big. I
remember. You said it looked like some kid and whatever. And
maybe it was a fucking kid. Maybe it was a kid that dug it up. But damn, you gotta be strong. Like damn. That onion was this
pick
big.
Up a cat.
That onion was this big.
Can't crows like carry off small rodents and stuff?
Oh yeah, so mice and shit.
I just figure the crow like tossed it.
He's like, ugh, you know what I mean?
Like you. Here's an onion to get rid of those cats.
Though. I forgot your name. I can't remember. I named my crow. I can't remember.
I have no idea. Yeah.
I'm just gonna be like, Caw, I'm sorry. Caw.
Rename him, and then if he asks, just be like, no, it's always.
Oh my God, it was Gerald. Oh my
Gerald.
God, Gerald.
That's too funny.
I love him. All right, well, if you enjoyed this episode, please check us out on YouTube. Yes, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thank you for your support, Melissa, our top-tier patron on Patreon. We really appreciate you helping us to bring a better show. Mm-hmm. And that said, thank you for coming to sit with us a spell. We enjoyed it. We hope you did too.
I think my stomach is